17 countries are in extremely high level of water stress, and this is what we're going to talk about in this video. So the World Resources Institute released a few weeks ago a study showing that 17 countries are in extremely high level of water stress. So water stress is a measure of the availability of water for humans. It's basically the market, the demand and the offer. And when a country is in water stress, it means there is more demand than offer. It means that we can't, as humans, we can't fulfill our needs in water. And that's exactly what is happening in 17 countries. When they say extremely high, it means that there is definitely not enough water for human use. It can be for agriculture, it can be also for domestic water. So among those 17 countries, we have Qatar, Israel, Lebanon, Iran, Jordan, Libya, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Eritrea, United Emirates, San Marino, Bahrain, and India. India, it's a huge country. Like, how many people do you have in India? You got some parts of India that are in extreme water stress nowadays. Pakistan, Turkmenistan, Oman, and Botswana. So that's the 17 countries. Obviously, they are in extreme high water stress. So those 17 countries, they are home for a quarter of total human population of the planet. So you can imagine the consequences of this announcement is terrible. You got so many people that are in water stress. Now you're going to have population movements, some people that can't feed themselves, because when we talk about water, obviously we need water to grow the crop, which means that when we don't have enough water, very often we don't have enough food. There are some countries that are using desalination plants, which means that basically they are using seawater to create fresh water. And to do this, it goes through a very specific process, which is reverse osmosis. And this is consuming a lot of energy, and also it produces a lot of very salted water. So you take some water from the sea. On one side you got some fresh water, on the other side you got the salt at very high concentration. So if this salt is used for consumption, it's okay, it's good, but most of the time it's released in the land just nearby, and therefore the land then becomes extremely salted, and when there is too much salt in the soil, the plants are not growing anymore. So it's a massive issue. Also, to do this thing, it consumes a lot of energy. So when you consume a lot of energy, obviously you produce a lot of carbons in the air. There are different ways to produce energy, but we all know that it has a cost and impact on the planet. So the best thing we can do is to produce some food with consuming less water, and that's where aquaponics has a big role to play, as well as general permaculture. So those 17 countries, the main cause is agriculture. That's the cause number one, because nowadays with the systems that are used around the world to produce some food, it's most of the time produced in monoculture, and they use the water to water the crop. Unfortunately, they don't work with the soil, so the soil is very poor, and most of the water goes directly in the soil, is absorbed, is going down, and it's not even used to grow the crop. Most of it is just lost. While with some specific techniques, such as permaculture, using a nice soil that is going to be able to absorb some water but keep the water available for the plants, so you don't have to water several times a day. You can keep the water in the soil, and it's going to be used by the plants during the whole week. Using those techniques, you are able to decrease the quantity, the consumption of water. Also, obviously, using aquaponics, you need only 1/10 of the water, because the water is remaining in the system. I'm always highlighting these points, but that's extremely important. in aquaponics, when we grow some food, we don't consume so much water. The water stays in the system, is always available for the plants. We don't have to water every day. We never have to water the system, just to top up a bit because of the evaporation. So it can be one solution. And if you are interested by aquaponics, if you are new to this video and you never saw this channel before, you can have access to a free guide to build your own aquaponics system in the description of the video, just below, or in the highlight information on the corner of the video somewhere. But to come back to this specific point, aquaponics is, for me, an amazing way to produce some food without consuming water, or consuming a very limited quantity of water. But there are other techniques with permaculture where we can just work the soil and decrease the quantity of water needed to produce the food and the crop that we need. So if those countries are applying those techniques, it will definitely help. But they are not the only ones. Those countries are suffering, and sometimes they are just suffering from the impact of other countries. So we are all, as humans, with our activities and our consumption, we are completely modifying the climate, and therefore there is sometimes in some area less and less water. So it's extremely worrying me. It worries a lot of people. Here now I would like to go through some of the notes that I took. So Qatar became a desert without a single river. It's the most water-stressed country in the world. So Qatar is really the worst of the worst. Due to a growing economy and population, water use rose from 437 million cubic meters to 741 cubic meters between 2006 and 2013. So you see, in 7 years, they almost doubled the consumption of water. And obviously, it can be due to consumption of everyday use of water, but it can be also due to agricultural practice. So if they use better technique, and if they are more reasonable in the way they consume the water, they may be able to solve this issue. But we all need to do something. And even in your country, even if you are not in a country that is touched by the water stress, try to use the water in a better way possible, right? Try to avoid wasting water. Israel is the second worst country. It has been dealing with drought since 2013. In 2018, Israel's official water authority said its lakes, rivers and aquifers were sitting at 100 years lows. In recent years, 5 desalination plants were built in the Mediterranean coast, which provide 70% of the country's drinking water. So you see, 70% of the water is coming from basically salt water that has been treated to become fresh water. And that's a massive problem for me, because obviously it consumes a lot of power to do that. And consuming power creates a lot of waste and a lot of pollution in the environment, which increase the heating of the planet. And with the global warming, obviously we're going to have more and more of those effects. So it's like a snowball effect, and we all need to do something about this. So again, for me, aquaponics is one of the solutions that I offer. But there are other solutions. We can all just work with permaculture on the food we are growing and trying to consume a bit less at home. So we also got Lebanon, that is very highly stressed. We got Iran, massive holes caused to the drought. So you can see some pictures of holes in the field. So it was so dry that everything collapsed, the whole field, and it creates a big hole in the floor. And you got a lot of those that are forming. It's very strange, very, very worrying, I would say. So in the document that I am reading, they say that it's due to a rapid population growth and inefficient agriculture. So again, inefficient agriculture is a big problem. It's all due to the fact that we don't work with the soil, with the planet, but we are trying to produce the food against it as humans, right? And that's definitely not what I recommend and what most of people recommend. If you follow permaculture, if you follow aquaponics techniques, we work with the environment and we use water in the best way possible. We don't waste it. So you got some countries that are really taking care of the problem. In Jordan, the water conservation is so important that it's now a school subject. So alongside with math and science, the kids are learning water preservation, which is very good. They are probably learning a lot about decreasing the water consumption, working with the environment, working with a good soil, and aquaponics is obviously one of the best solutions. So in Libya, access to water has been weaponized. So it's extremely critical. So now we can see some wars that are going to be created due to water stress. We can definitely imagine that those populations are going to start to move if they don't have water where they live, which we can see migration is a big issue in the world. Poor people don't have the possibility to live correctly where they are, so not naturally they move to other countries, and then you got some problems. I mean, all the problems that we know that are linked to migration. So all this, those problems of water, they're going to increase this phenomenon and like significantly increase it. So we have huge problems coming, and again, the best thing we can do is to produce some food with a good use of water. So again, we go back to aquaponics and permaculture. And it's really crazy when you think of the impact that you can have just growing a bit of food, such as I'm doing in my backyard behind me. It's like a political action. First, obviously, you reconnect with nature, you produce food that is healthy, sustainable, so it's good for you, for your energy, for your health. It's good for the relationship you're going to create with your neighbors, because you give them some food that you produce, homemade food. So it's amazing when you invite people, friends over, you can cook the food you are growing. So it's always really fun harvesting the fish and everything, and the vegetables. But really what we are doing as well is preserving the planet. We avoid to have all this transport, and we produce food with 1/10 of the water that it will require in a classic agricultural practice. So I'm going to stop here for this specific topic today. Again, for me, the best thing we can do is to grow some food in aquaponics or to grow some food in permaculture. Aquaponics is not the only solution, but really we all need to do something nowadays. We really have to do something for us and for our kids. It's becoming like the high priority, and I can only highly recommend you to start producing some food where you live. It's going to be better for you and for the planet. So again, if you're interested by aquaponics, you can follow the channel, but you will have access to a free aquaponics training, because I want the world to be able to produce his own food. From the description of the video just below, you will find a link, and you can have access to a step-by-step training to build your own aquaponics system and to manage it in the best conditions. It's very important for me to make it available for everybody. So share the link, and start producing your food in your backyard. You can do it with friends, it can be a project. If you have any question, obviously you can email me, comment the video, and let me know what you think of this general water stress study. That is very concerning for me. I'm very scared, to be honest, of what is happening in the planet. I know that we all have the solution to produce food properly. That's a shame that very few people are doing it. So I hope you are one of us, and you start the revolution with us, producing some food in your backyard that is tasty and healthy and sustainable. I hope you enjoyed this video. If it's the case, give it a like, and don't forget to give a comment in the video. If you have an opinion, if you have an advice for everyone, please share. We have to share. We have this community, we have like thousands of people who are watching this channel now. Please share your comment, let me know what you think, if there are some things that we should do to spread the message, because we have a solution. Very few people are using it. It's a big problem. So let's do it. Yeah, you can subscribe to the channel to receive all the new videos. I'm most of the time talking about technical things about aquaponics to really help you to perform in aquaponics and to grow some food in your backyard. But sometimes I like to do this type of video where basically I talk about a problem, because aquaponics is way more than just a technique. It's really a solution. It's part of the solution. It's not the solution, I imagine, but with permaculture, it can really change the planet. So we have to change the way we are producing and consuming food, and for me this is one solution. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please give a like to the video if it's the case, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye! Don't forget to get your free gift from this screen. You can also leave me a comment below the video, subscribe to the channel and see my last video. I really hope to see you soon, and I wish you a fantastic success with aquaponics. Have a good crop!